camera says, get the fuck up, throw your hands in the sky. The brothers in the back shooting traps now, what's up? Committee pity the fool that act shitty in the midst of the calm, the witty. New Jerusalem, get the fuck up. Shaolin, get the fuck up. Long Isle, get the fuck up. Worldwide, get the fuck up.
Kind of like just talking, and all of a sudden we just started to geek out into a real serious geekgasm, you know? Where
Geektasm?
I had a geek out. Alright, well, so again, guys, we're back. Yeah, and we're not only just back, but we're back with a new name. I think this is probably the third name for the show. We're thinking about running with the GeekTasm.
Why are you changing the name, Chase?
Okay, well, somebody pointed out to me that, you know, when you put GeekTasm on YouTube and, you know, some lovely young woman comes up, and there's kind of like this, you know, little splatter on the screen and her breast. But like, but she talking about movies. Well, she's a geek. Not loud kind of geek, but she's a geek. So anyway, my point is
Are you saying that we should be putting like outfit dresses and things on?
That's why I'm wearing this. But no, I'm just saying this is just so that way we're gonna actually the GeekTasm is gonna change because, you know, as you know, we've been doing this as a lark. You know, and we bring our friends in and we like talking about movies and everything, but we're actually thinking about going a little bit different for season 2, where, you know, over the time frame, the show is going to have a different structure to it, and it's going to be nice, you know, it's going to be put together, we might have some close-ups, going to have some video clips, you know, and I mean...
We're not structure fans.
Yeah, we're... Okay.
Anyway,
I love it how, you know, Colin waits till we get on camera to go against what I've already said before we started. So anyway, GeekTasm, welcome. New year, I love the annual show. I hope you did too. I mean, I love being, you know, put on the spot by Colin about my American love for movies. Muggsy here all the time. Muggsy. I love that name though, don't you?
Yeah, I like the way you say don't you. Well, don't.
He'd rather be called don't you?
Don't you? You call me from now on, I'm just don't you.
Forget about me.
Oh, please.
Hey, I was watching Pitch Perfect with the wife. What do you want? So anyway, but what I thought we would do is, because like we love talking about old movies, and I mean, we just spent like about an hour talking about stuff and not on camera. But me and Colin, the buzz here, was talking about Django Unchained. And then Merv showed up and ruined our buzz by saying, I don't want to talk about it because I'm going to go still see it. I don't know how you guys saw it.
Like that as well.
Exactly. He's like, I don't know how you guys saw it already. I plan on going to buy my ticket. Tickets. We don't need those tickets.
We don't need no stinking tickets. Anyway, no, I will go and see it tonight with fresh eyes, with no, what's the word I'm looking for here? Preconception, thank you very much. Drugs have yet to kick in. No preconception.
Point is, what I did want to say, you know, not to have any spoilers about it, is that it was an amazing movie. Go out, buy your tickets to go see Django Unchained. You know, I mean, it's just fantastic.
By the time you upload this, it'll be out on DVD.
That's why I planned on doing spoilers, but then Merv said don't do it, right?
Okay.
So anyway, speaking of Django, me and Colin had this discussion about, you know, the use of the N-word in the movie and, you know, how good is that, and, you know, and we would talk a little bit about censorship and, you know, is it right or is it wrong? So I thought that we'd start the show, you know, going into that realm of the video nasty and the NC-17 because, you know, it's a type of film genre, you know, we have director's cuts of films, you know, being made where, you know, either the studio wants it done differently than the director does. So, I mean, what do you guys just feel about, you know, that whole thing? Because I think we talked about it before about video nasties, like, why is that a nasty?
Yeah.
You know, because remember in the 80s, you know, like Shogun Assassin was a video nasty, or Driller Killer, I can understand why it's a video nasty. But, you know...
Actually, going away from that, Shogun Assassin is probably more violent than Driller Killer.
It's much more violent.
It is.
Driller Killer is very, very tame. Driller Killer is a video nasty for people who haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
It has this
I followed the rules.
The three main video nasties at the time were Driller Killer, I Spit in Your Grave, and Evil Dead.
They were the three. Grave. I love
They were the
that.
three held
We
up.
are not talking about the remake.
If any of them, I spit probably because of the subject matter.
But before, I mean, but it's interesting actually. My biggest bone of contention with any notion of censorship isn't about censorship per se, but it's about who sets the criteria. Okay, as an adult, I know what I could be really offended by. I know what I'm not offended by, but I want to be able to make that decision for myself.
Yeah.
And you know.
Well, yeah, but if you make that decision for yourself, you still have to go to a theater with 100 or 300 other people.
Sure,
you know, so what they're trying to do is they come up with the MPA board to try and protect the mindset of children. Now, most of the films we talk about are set in the 70s. And we also talk about the fact that we still went to see these pictures in the theater. Like,
well, so saying that, the video nasties are probably more like me than you are in the terms of being English at the time that the video nasty thing exploded. That was the bad thing.
Yeah.
But I was 12 or 13 and got to see these kind of films, which I probably shouldn't have been. Which, goddamn my father for letting me.
Yes.
Screwed me up forever. But,
as you can see.
He is pretty screwed up.
But you can understand why they do it for younger children. I mean, I don't think I was very impressionable in the terms that I'd want to go out and start my own SS camp. You know, I wasn't going to do that.
But first of all, you would have to grow breasts.
Lethal though.
And you have to grow breasts, and then you have to wear really tight, you know, suit top.
I tried, but it
didn't work.
Well,
no, you're kind of going.
Yeah. So you know that wasn't going to happen. But kids that through the late 80s, 90s got to see more stuff in more of a vivid. And were more impressionable. I don't know if that was an age thing or we were just.
I don't know. I mean, the facts speak for themselves. Those who've grown up in that era, the majority of us haven't turned out to be homicidal maniacs, as the then governments of the time, which definitely has a huge influence on.
Wait a minute. It may not be about the homicidal maniacness. It'll be about we talked earlier about the movie posters of the time. And you know how intricate and vivid they were, you know, and they just stained your mind, you know, and I think that's another reason why we have these love of these films, because we could just remember the poster, you know, and maybe not much about the film, you know. So if we watch the film at that impressionable age, it's going to give you nightmares at the time, and you know, might not turn you into a homicidal maniac is what I'm trying to say, but it'll give you nightmares. You know,
but it's all relative. You speak to somebody whose informative years were say in the 50s, then they're going to remember, I don't know, watching something on TV.
It came from outer space.
It came from outer space, or I watched an episode of Quatermass that made me go.
We're giant ants.
Exactly.
You know, going to take over the world, or you know, rubber octopus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, watching some William Castle movie or something with the tingle or something. Or the fact of the matter is, but there's going to be people who think, oh, well, I was 12. Oh my God, that gave me nightmares for a week.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But now these days,
Tingler.
But now.
Great idea, isn't it? That's a great idea.
Still works on CB.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I mean, you speak to, young people talk about pretty much the same thing. You know, I mean, recently we had the Woman in Black movie, and I mean, through my work, I was talking to quite a few teenagers, and they loved it, but they said, oh, it's like really, really scary, or, you know, oh my God.
Well, see, okay, I can see where this is leading. First of all, there is no such thing as a horror movie anymore.
No.
Because what we're talking about here is we were really actually scared. You know, I mean, whether you get somebody like Roger Corman making humanoids from the deep, or you're getting William Castle or Mark.
I have to interrupt you there. I feel a GeekTasm coming up. Hey, Colin, what was Humanoids of the Deep called in the UK?
Monster.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Well, there you go.
Did they have the birthing scene?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was.
Now
imagine being a kid and seeing that.
James Horner Second School, early Rob Bottin.
Yeah.
Imagine being the kid seeing that. That was, I mean, yeah, true, there was breasts.
That's the thing. I mean, the thing is with them at that age. I mean, I remember being, 12 and seeing a poster to Cannibal Ferox.
Cannibal Ferox, yeah.
Right, which had nothing on the poster. It was just a black poster, red writing, and there was a little box in the middle of it that said banned in 36 countries. And I would have died to have seen that film.
That becomes a mag.
That was like that movie Thou Shalt Not Kill.
Yeah.
You know, and that had that big band. And then what was that other one? That Last House on the Left.
No,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
only a movie.
Which actually is not a scary movie.
No.
It's only a movie.
No.
It's also
Not a scary
It's
movie.
not.
But it has a horrible, not just a horrific rape scene, but it also has revenge of it. So I think that was probably why it was banned, because when the mom and dad are turning into killers, they're like, oh no, we can't do that. That's horrible. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like, well, it's revenge, man.
You can rape my daughter, but you can't have revenge on her.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
exactly. No, exactly. So, I mean, so the banning or the video ban, I mean, you know, those kind of movies were really scary at the time. But nowadays, we get so much CGI we talked about, so much of this 3D, Texas Chainsaw 3D, and it's not scary. I think kids go to the movies and they're disappointed more than we were because they're not being scared. They're going with their
But why
girlfriends.
is that? Is that just a...
Because it's a computer, man. It's a computer. Nobody's afraid of the computer. They know how it works. They know about the tennis ball on a stick. You know, they know about the fact that these actors are truly just acting. Whereas in the old days, it's like Maniac, it's somebody running around with a knife or a gun. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I could be in that situation, or that could happen to me if I go to the woods.
Hey.
So, what do you guys think about that? I mean, do you think that raising the MPAA code, so to speak, is going to stop?
If you were to, you've got a son. How old's your son?
I got a what?
You've got a son. How old's your son?
My son is 9, so he can't even see Kick-Ass. And I'm disappointed by that. He knows about Kick-Ass, but I won't let him see it just because of the one sex scene. And it's not even a sex scene, but, you know, it's bad enough. You see worse on Family Guy.
It's what you see, as we have said, at that particular age, something can affect you.
That's why he's not looking at it.
I remember, what would kids now, if you sat a kid who's between 12 and 15 down, and put the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre on, would that affect them?
Well, it's not a scary movie, except for the one scene where he puts the girl on the meat hook. That's scary.
See, when I was 12, and it scared the bejesus out of me.
The whole movie scared me in a great way.
Yeah.
Like a roller coaster ride. From the moment the voiceover, John Larroquette's voiceover started.
From the moment of the black shots.
Well,
before that.
Right.
Just the voiceover alone. Exactly.
And Commando, you were sent to prison by a military court.
What am I going to see here?
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was.
Exactly.
But ironically, it's the same sort of, it doesn't feel the same, but it's the same sense of what's going on here.
Yeah.
At a particular age, like say first time you see like your first dirty movie, it's a kind of like, ooh, I shouldn't be doing this. This is illicit.
This is why I still love Chainsaw so much, because it's so well done and so sleazy and
rough and ready.
horrible.
Oh, yeah.
It's like they've just followed the rounds with it.
You can just smell
Well,
it.
I gotta tell you, it was that movie. You know, seeing that movie as a kid, that makes me, every time I see a VW Dodge van, I go, ooh.
Yeah. It's
One is because I know that there's probably some teenagers around that are looking for the woods. But the other is it's such an iconic thing for me, and I know it's from that movie. I know when I see a VW Dodge van, I think of that movie.
Yeah.
You know, and it gives me pause. That's what I'm saying.
It's one of those. I know people who hate it, but they've only seen it when they were in their 20s or 30s.
Yeah.
It didn't have that. It's just.
But it's also that by the time they do get to see it, the legacy has, and the influence.
And they've seen so much other
Exactly.
stuff.
I mean, I remember years ago, I had an ex-girlfriend, and I showed her. This would be in the early 1990s, and I showed her. I sat her down to watch The Terminator, and she'd never seen it. And bearing in mind the movie had been out like 6-7 years by that time, and she went, "Well, what was so special about that?" Because in the interim, she had seen X, Y, Z. Then you think, "Oh."
Yeah.
You know, I remember my heart sinking and thinking,
Which is a shame, because if I had a 12, 13-year-old kid, I'd just show them that on a Saturday night and screw them up forever.
Well, I do.
Terminator?
Chainsaw.
I do have I have a 14-year-old and a 24-year-old, and the pair of them, neither of them are great fans of the horror genre anyway, regardless. And I found that it's not something I hammered at them. They love other things.
Yeah, but is
it
because they didn't grow up in our time of horror movies? I mean, in our time we had Palmer, we had Hooper, we had, you know, guys who were making horror
No,
films.
the thing was them, Chase. You didn't know who they were. You didn't know who made them.
No. I
know what you mean.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to say those guys were at that time, but at that time we had horror films, which were horror films. You knew, don't go watch that because it was rated R. You knew that, like, you know, oh, we need to trick some old guy and to let us into the theater or something like that, or a parent has to take us. So we knew this was forbidden. You know, but nowadays it's like, yeah, well, you want to see that? No problem, go in. You know,
but you had that luxury in the US that we've never had in this country. About, like you say, that you have actually much more parental control over what you saw. Whereas you go see the R-rated movies, and obviously if you're under 17, all that business, you're your parent, guardian, etc. We never had that. If it was an X certificate, you didn't get in. That was it.
No.
There was no chance of us seeing it. You had to wait for it was either on TV, which was, you know, the ones we really wanted to see. That's not really going to happen.
Plus, as we have said before about badges and stuff, and you had to see Chainsaw or Evil Dead because everyone else in your class had seen it, and you felt like, well, why are they?
Well,
and then you found out that they hadn't actually seen it.
Exactly, because I remember when Phantasm came out, and like a kid in my class was talking about he saw it and everything like that, and I remember like I guess I got to see that, you know what I mean? And so you're right, definitely. It's like you want to be one of the cool kids. You don't want to be the one, I didn't see that, my parents will take me or whatever, you know. So yeah, you had to. No, exactly, but. It also reminded me, because talking about this also reminded me of Suspiria, you know, that you put a trailer on to that the other day, and it was kind of like, oh my God, I could remember the imagery of it, you know, and being scared, afraid, you know. Not just the woman in the skull, you know, whatever, but the red walls, you know, or the eyes of Dario Argento, you know what I mean?
That's the only part about Suspiria that people remember, because there's nothing really that much to remember about Suspiria.
See, that's
it's got no story.
See, you know what? I gotta tell you, that's what I'm afraid of sometimes, because, you know, like Colin puts on this site, you know, whatever, where he puts on these trailers, and, you know, I'm always saying, now that's good, that's awesome, you know, but then only some of them make me go, oh, I gotta get that, because I gotta pull that out. Like we were talking about The Dark. Remember, or The Gate? I mentioned.
Oh yeah, The Gate.
Now the thing about The Gate is Stephen Dorff's first movie. He's like a little 10-year-old in that movie. And now I got that movie the other day, and I watched it, and it still was awesome. Being a 80s, 79, you know, movie.
I haven't seen that probably since the early 90s again.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it since.
But
you gotta watch it, because you will still be impressed by it.
The demon falling scene, is that still?
Is that the one where he
Yeah. Where the tall guy falls and he come on, when the tall guy falls and he breaks up into little demons and everything else like that. You know, so
is that still as good?
Huh?
That's still as good.
That's still fantastic. I mean, you know how it had that 70s, 80s, you know, type of graphic, right?
Yeah.
But
it's one of the last great.
It's not dated. You know, it's not dated. It's like it's really cool, because like I think what it was is that
as soon as you start watching it, you go, well, this is an 80s movie, so you give it a bit of
Yeah. I think because like I like the fact that they were siblings. You know, I like the fact, you know, the sister was like trying to protect the brother and all that, and then it's
was it black guy in it?
No black guy. Sorry.
No, it's just that you have to protect the brother.
Right. That's time for a break, because
nice.
I want that on my tombstone.
Can I just say before when we were going on about kids?
Well, hold on. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna come back. So because we have another. We're joined by. Do what? You're gonna talk about what?
Behind the green door.
I remember that.
There was a lad in school who kept going on and on about it. You gotta see Behind the Green Door. What's it about? It's about a girl, she gets kidnapped and all those things.
I didn't know there was a kidnapping.
I didn't know you were Shaking Stevens.
Yeah.
Hey.
Noel's here, by the way.
Trying to get Noel on camera.
He was like, girl gets kidnapped. She goes and takes off to this place, and everyone has sex with her. We were like 12, going, how did you get this? Where did you get this from? He's going, you gotta get it. And it turned out that his dad that's all his dad watched.
Was that made by the Mitchell brothers?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
And if anybody doesn't remember the Mitchell brothers, they had a movie with the Sheen brothers.
You got
Thank you.